A very warm morning and welcome to all the participants of today's session on it's a one day, a national webinar which I was planning to organize and I have done it. And this is a session where we'll be discussing the actual probabilities or possibilities of data analytics, making a career out of data analytics, and what are the options we have to make a better future out of it. So thank you so much for all the participants who have been here on time and who have been waiting for the last 10 minutes. Thank you so much, and I welcome everyone who have registered and who have directly participated here. Welcome to Amarnath Garu, Ramohan Sir, Giri Garu, and everyone over here. Thank you so much, sir. And right, so before I go ahead and start the discussion, this is my, I should say, sixth presentation on data analytics, where we really try to help the people to understand what exactly data analytics are all about and what is that we are going to learn in terms of analytics and why is it so important. This is what we are going to discuss and what are the career opportunities we have. Because as per the information what we have from the industry vertical, and when we look at the industry aspect, again there are a lot of aspects, but again data analytics and cybersecurity have got a very uh, very great prominence instead, I should say. And all these analytics, there are different types of analytics what we are going to see in this particular aspect. So I hope I'm audible to everyone and it's clear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Right. So welcome to everyone, all the participants here. And this is one of the quotation which I really love to discuss every time whenever I do the session on data or data analytics or data analysis rather. So when we speak about the data, according to the recent data, we need more data to check our new data is aligned with our previous data. So we have all the data, we need to capture more data. So there is always a confusion that has always been lying in terms of data management, in terms of data structurization, visualization, and later parts it's like analyzing the data, how exactly it should be going, and all these factors. So when I look at all these factors, I feel like there is a very big prominence in terms of understanding what exactly is data all about and why we need data analytics and what exactly needs to be done, what are the various tools we use. It's going to be a very short and a brief session, but I can assure that those who are seriously interested to make a career out of it, that is going to be a real big thing for them. Because even today, um, big data is a one thing which is entirely ruling the world, and still the hiring processes are going for, the recruitments are still on for those who are into cybersecurity and data analytics when compared with other tools, whether other areas of specialization. So there is always a confusion existing in terms of data management. Like for example, the data analysis what we are speaking today and the data analytics what we are going to speak for tomorrow are totally different. So what are those differences? Why is it so important? That's what we are going to see now. So when we look at the different types of data, we collect the data. Data is all about information. It's all in the form of images, in the form of numbers, text, or whatever the means you are going to have the information with you. It is something what we call as data. So here, when we look at this particular data, we are going to get it in the form of geographical, transportation, scientific, cultural, financial, statistical, meteorological, natural. There is an ample data, and with the growing media and with the growing social media contents today, we just need to understand what sort of huge servers that either Facebook or any other big company is trying to manage, and where the data is getting stored, in what formats of data is getting stored, and all these things. But before that, we need to understand what exactly is data. As I said, it's all about numbers. It's all about the way we try to look at the content, like what sort of information we are pulling in. So this is what we call as a data. Data is nothing but the information which is with us for performing a certain set of result or analysis. So the information what we need to have is what we call as data. Data can be collected on a daily basis. Even on a daily basis, when we look at our net balance, we look at our messages, what all we received, or when we look at the work what we have performed in the entire day, everything is going to be a data. the data what you capture from CC cameras, the data what you capture from various sources. Now, the biggest challenge is how many of us are really there in understanding what exactly is data, how to understand it. Understanding data is, I have a data with me, I have a data I'll show. Okay, for example, I say that this is my data. Now, how is that I'm going to understand that data? What are the factors I need to know? Because along with me, I'll show you who are all in my team. I'll introduce my team. In fact, I'll show, help you to know who are all there in my team. Now, the thing is, when our team members, we get a lot of data from various sources like PhD scholars, hospitals, colleges, other institutions, at times from banking people. They say like, this is what we are here, and we just need to analyze something. But when we look at the data and the way it is being structurized, in order to understand what exactly we need to do, in order to understand what exactly they need to get out of that, is always a big challenge. Because the way the data has already been designed, or the way the data needs to be designed, is the biggest question. We used to get, because I'm very much confident that I can say that we started using different databases, because my family and my team of people, we have been into statistics and data analysis background for the last 20 years. We used to get scholars coming up with huge bulk of records, so much of bulk. They get it in papers. They want us to enter the data. They wanted to us to understand and analyze the data. They want us to ensure that we are going to get some results out of that data. But the biggest challenge is, number one, entering in that particular data, and number two, understanding the data. Like, see, whatever the data a person will collect is not absolutely what is fully needed. They will also have some unwanted scrap information. When there is such unwanted scrap information in the data, where is the point that we'll get a clarity on it? It's impossible. So what is that we need to do? You need to first understand the problem, and then you need to understand the data with relevance to the problem, and that's when you can understand what exactly you need to do as an individual with that particular data. Now, when we start doing it, the first process is cleaning of the data. There are a lot of things where we did a lot of times where we really had to spend time in cleaning the data in such a way that we can get it in a proper shape, where everybody can understand and see, okay, with this data this can be done. Now, for example, in terms of a general terminology, if I have to say, if a class teacher comes to the class and says, today we are going to discuss these particular topics and this is what you are going to learn, if the students have been informed in earlier with a clearance, then they will get to know, okay, today we are going to learn this. If not, they'll be in a confusion. In a bank, if the manager says, okay guys, today you are going to be in the cashier department, you will have so and so cash, this is what the transactions you will maintain, and this is what you will look at. When that clarity is given, he will be very much happy, or she will be happy, and they will be able to take forward all the things whatever they are supposed to do. That means even when you convey a message, that a data, but if the data is not clear, there is no point. That's why many people will be telling, are we clear in what we are trying to say? That means, are we clear in what sort of information we are trying to give out? Right? So Giri sir says, finding unlike data and like info is big challenge in 21st century. Data info everyone have, but like maths, okay. Right. So now the biggest challenge here is, once you understand the data, because very much sure when I was handling the data for when I was looking out the data with relevance to NAC accreditation for a university 2 times, the way I was getting the data from various departments was so smart and so intelligent that I took almost 1.5 months to understand, analyze, and then understand and clean the data and get it to a proper shape, so that I can draft it in the NAC book. So when you're going for an accreditation, it is very important to publish the data for all the colleges, how it should be done, what are the various factors one should remember in actually trying to know what is the data all about. Tomorrow, if you go to a doctor and say, sir, okay, tomorrow if you go to a doctor and say like, sir, I've just got a headache, and the doctor says, okay, take this tablet. That's an irrelevant data. You didn't give a proper information, he did not collect proper information. In between, what has happened, he understood something and he gave some medicine. After 3 days, you will come back and say, sir, nothing happened, I'm still increasing, there is an increase in headache, what is that I need to do now? Again the doctor says, okay, now you take this tablet. Now the challenge here is the data is all about the headache. What are the things that you need to explain in terms of that headache? Now it's like you gave a book called Headache. The doctor did not open the book. He just to look at the cover page and it says headache or high headache, and he just leaves the book and he says, "Okay, take this tablet." He should open the book. He should look into what are the factors that are relevant to headache. What are the things that make you to feel headache? What times it is increasing? What time? I mean, what time? What point of time it is increasing, and when is it decreasing? There are 101 parameters that a doctor needs to ask. At the same time, the patient also needs to inform the doctor that, sir, at this particular point of time, I'm getting this headache, and during the headache, I feel like this. I cannot walk, I cannot open the eyes. Again, from a patient end, there will be a lot of data to speak up. He is called a good doctor who probes too much into the disease and then tries to identify what exactly is the problem all about. He's a good scientist who can probe into the data and understand and then go for an analysis and conclude that, okay, with this data, we can do this. He's a good teacher who can understand the students and who can get to know what exactly they need and how it should be conveyed. And that's when he's a good teacher, or rather, a right teacher. And he's a good student only when the student can open up, speak up, and ask the teacher what exactly he or she is looking for. And that's when they'll be a learners. So a lot of discussions on this particular data factor. Now, once you have understood the data, the next factor is how do you visualize the data? Visualization is nothing but when someone comes to you and says, I would like to, I mean, I got the data, it is properly designed, but I wanted to see what can be done with this. But I mean, I want to get these type of results. No, in order to get the results, you should be in a position to visualize the information and predict, okay, with this, whatever he is asking for is not possible, but what are the things that can be, really made into the picture and we can give the results. Like, for example, I have some data with which I can do a basic preliminary statistical analysis of mean, median, mode, and etc. But what if I expect something like advanced ANOVA, one-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA, or something, and then I will be, I mean, I will not be sure of, you know, what exactly can I get with the data. Say, for example, I know that with the data, what some XYZ has given me, I'll be able to do basic statistics. But what he expects in advanced statistics, now I can visualize very clearly that it is not possible. How is that I can explain to the person? I need to do that. So that is what you call visualization. So you just try to visualize the information and see, okay, what predictions can be given, what forecasting can be done with that data. And how do you process the data at the end? Yes, once your data is all properly in structure, once your data is absolutely in place, once your data is clearly visualized, everything is done. Now you process it using different tools. Say, for example, we have a live COVID information where on a daily basis, Telangana government says we are getting approximately 1500 cases. Andhra Pradesh says so and so many cases. And lot of, I mean, every state gives their independent information. Now, in a single day, how is that they're able to cover information, collect the information? How are they visualizing? How are they understanding? How are they analyzing? And how are they giving the results? Is it so tough? No, it is never so tough. It is always easy. The only challenge is collecting of information. If I need to rule out that 1530 cases have come in, see, for example, if I look at today's Hindu paper, they say that the 1524 I mean 1524 cases in Telangana for one day. How did this 1524 come into the picture? The one thing is how now the questions arise. If the government asks the person who gives the data, sir, today we have got overall 1524 cases. How many did you test? How many samples did you collect? How many repeated cases are there? What are the areas you have covered? What are the different ages of people? What are the different genders? What are the various symptoms? Any repeated cases again? There will be huge data. Now imagine in a one day, if 1 lakh samples to be collected and 1500 cases to be registered, I mean, informed, what sort of various data that is being pulled up in place and how is it stored? How is it analyzed? This is what we call as advanced forecasting or predictions. And also this is what we call as analysis. And in other words, we do analytics also with that data. We'll also see what is the difference between analysis and analytics. This is how most of the time, the data comes to us. If a person wants to know gender wise, age wise, scores of a classroom. Okay, this is how I'm honestly telling you, this is not a created information. This is an information which we used to get because we handled the data starting from Fox Pro, Fox Base, which was in 90s. We used to type the text in WordStar, not Word, Microsoft Word, WordStar in DOS. The entire database operations were performed using Fox Pro, Fox Base. Then we started using Excel, then Oracle, then SQL, then Access, etc., etc. Today we speak about various tools. But whatever the tools it is, preliminarily the data is getting stored in 99% of the cases only using Microsoft Excel. Now, when I speak about Microsoft Excel, many people come with irrelevant entered, I mean, data which is irrelevantly entered. This is how it looks like. People don't even know. I mean, when I speak about this, people don't even know that heading should not come here. They will put headings wherever they want. People don't know that serial numbers can be whatever they want. People don't know that the headings cannot come again here and there. So how is that we are able to help all these things? How is that we are able to do all these things? Now, this is how the data should be looking like. Name, I mean, serial number, class, gender, age, score. Now from this, I can filter what are the different classes of people, what are the different genders. Two is female, one is male, for example. So I can classify, I can filter, I can get to know as per the age, I can get to know if I can see the scores of people. This is how, this is a very small data, but this is how the people, I mean, this is how the COVID data is also collected. Age, gender, I mean, like age, gender, location, person name, and then types of symptoms, whatever it is. If you just look at Arogya Setu app, the app looks so simple. You'll keep scrolling information and you find that so many cases in the last 28 days or 5 days within 500 meters, 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer. In order to do all these things, what sort of database is maintained on the back? What sort of data structure is created? That's very important to know. Data analytics or big data analysis or whatever the words you hear today, they have been existing since the last ages. Data structure is a word what we read in our engineering days. That's very simple, but it's an advanced version of what we have been reading, and that's where new tools have come in place. Oracle is still used. Okay, Microsoft Excel is used. We used to handle 10 lakh records in a day, a minimum of 10 lakh records for processing university admission software, which was done completely using Fox Pro, Microsoft Excel, MS Access, and Crystal Reports. Minimum 10 lakh records. It's not a small thing. And whenever there was a requirement, we used to just pull the report. We have a predefined structure on Crystal Reports. We just keep the report ready. We connect the data. We generate the report, give it in a span of less than 3 to 5 seconds. Just connect the data, publish. The data is there. That's how it is happening. Let us see what are the differences we have between analysis and analytics. See, when we look at analysis, okay, uh, okay, fine. Let me try to see if anyone from the audience can help me to know this difference between analysis and analytics. Can anyone tell me? You can unmute and speak up. Any answer, like what do you know about analysis or analytics? Okay, no worries.
Hello.
See, yeah, please.
Yeah, analysis means we are estimating a thing.
What are you trying to estimate?
Estimating the data.
Okay, what analytics means?
I don't know.
So can I tell you?
Yeah, please, please.
Analysis means we differentiate between some datas, and
Okay.
analytics we think in terms of the past and the future.
Okay. Thank you so much, madam. Yeah. Ramohan sir
Means
says,
analytics
yeah,
we look
please.
forward to model
Okay.
the future or predict a result.
Great.
And analysis over the time we historical view what happened or we take the difference.
Exactly. Thank you so much, madam. Thank you. And Ramohan sir says
Thank you,
one
sir.
is textual and other is a numerical representation. Absolutely, sir. And Sridhar Reddy garu, you raise the hand. You can speak, sir, if you have an answer.
Yeah, I think madam has given, sir. It's okay.
Okay, that's great, sir. So absolutely, whatever Madam has said and Ramon sir said, and I think Sridhar Reddy sir also felt the same. See, very simple. When we speak about the analysis, it just speaks over the, it looks at the backward. It all speaks about the historical information of the past that has happened and what exactly was inside. And Balaraj Garu says comparison of data. Exactly. We are all speaking in statistical terms. So we will be able to understand what happened. We will be able to see what was there, what happened, how exactly it went. So with analysis, it's like a postmortem. Like with the postmortem report, we will get to know what has happened in the incident. But that postmortem report will not help us. It never used to help anyone in terms of understanding what can be done with this in the future. But when analytics came in the place, this type of things have changed. I mean, Balaraj Gar says means and ways of comparisons in analytics, right, sir? So analytics looks at the future and predicts the result, where analysis looks at the past and speaks about the history. Rammohan sir says dissection of data and statistical representation. Sir, you have anything else to explain on this, sir? You can take a turn and you can help us to know.
Sir, nothing but I should confess that I am not a engineering, not with a engineering or a statistical background.
Sir.
What I feel and strongly believe that of the conviction that everything is a matter of common sense, sir.
Exactly, sir.
Whatever the 2 points I have put only out of my experiential common sense, sir.
Okay.
I should be excused that I don't have any
No, sir.
scientific foundation of on data analytics. It is only out of my pure interest.
Okay.
And where you talk, your flow of language is flawless.
Sir.
Many few speakers have that.
Sir.
So I'm just inclined and interested to listen. That's it.
Thank you, sir. So even in the banking set,
yes,
sir.
Data, can I say data? As per my knowledge, data analysis is nothing but data cleaning, modeling, observing, and all these things comes under data analysis. Right? My knowledge.
Okay.
In modeling and whatever that is called.
Right.
I think inspecting also.
Okay. So
inspecting
right, sir. Thanks for that. So now here, when I speak about the analysis, okay, let me speak in two different areas here. When I speak about analysis in terms of banking sector, okay, when do we do analysis? What sort of analysis is done? Usually in a banking sector or in a financial sector, the days used to be there where forecasting was the major requirement, where RBI or financial organizations used to say, okay, if we do if we take this decision, this is what it is going to be. That was not used to be the discussion. What they say is, we took this decision and this is where we fell down, or this is where we grown up. So the analysis used to always happen on the past instance most of the time, where we never had a discussion of predicting the future in many cases, because the kind of data what we used to have and the kind of predictions what we used to make were only relevant to the past. Even when you look at the signal systems, way long back in 2003, when we did the radar system project live at radar NARL, even the analysis whatever we have done using Excel and you operating through MATLAB and everything, we always had the results of what was happening in the past and what can be done. That's it. How better it can be done. But analytics have come into the place today, that with that existing past information, today I'm able to forecast and predict what exactly the next 5 to 10 years is going to be. Predictions can be made, decisions can be made, and no assumptions, no chance of making any huge assumptions. Like for example, if a person has died because of COVID today, if the dead body is lying in the hospital, if the postmortem has been done for some other reason, earlier days with that analysis, people used to say this guy has died, or this person has died just because of this reason. But looking at present situation analytics, they can even say like, okay, if this kind of symptoms come in the future, maybe there could be more deaths. I mean, we started looking at the future. Padmasri Satya Garu raised the hand. Yeah, ma'am, if you have anything to speak, you can please. Padmasri Garu. Yeah, you can speak, ma'am. In banking, there much to be done on imparting digital knowledge to customers to ultimate extent that customer need not come to bank. Exactly, sir. But too much of digital knowledge has been given where it's leading to a security problem now. Everyone are blindly believing that whatever the information comes over call in name of a bank, that's purely from the bank, and they're giving out the information. So as you said, there is a lot of need that needs to be done in terms of banking sector. Logical way of analysis is called data analytics. Thank you so much, sir. Now, let us first understand what are these analytics all about. It's just very simple. In a simple words, three different words, we say discovery, interpretation, and communication of meaningful patterns of data. Now, there is a pattern that needs to be followed when you're trying to understand or interpret or communicate with the data. What is that pattern we need to understand? Now, for example, RBI is looking at moratorium. What sort of patterns they are following? What sort of fluctuations they're understanding? Now there will be a structured protocol for them, like if we say 3 months moratorium or 6 months moratorium, now they need to, that is a discovery they have done. First of all, they identified that okay, we can go with the moratorium. Now what sort of interpretations will come into the picture? Ramon sir says even that education what info not to be parted and what not. Yes sir. Now, what are the interpretations they might have done? If we implement this moratorium, what are the factors that might come into good place? What are the factors that might come into bad place? Who will get benefited? Who will get into loss? There will be a lot of decisions that will be made. And with what sort of data they can do this interpretation is very important. Not that every data they get from a customer or every data of customer or bank, they cannot, it will not be helpful. There will be certain set of data that will only be helpful. For example, if we have to give moratorium to the customers on behalf of RBI from all the banks and financial sector, what key information do you think we need to have? It's all about due amounts. So what sort of data we might need with relevant to bank accounts, with relevant to the loan details, what are the dues their customers are with, like what are the challenges they have? Do we need any more information in terms of this? Do we need to collect any more details from a bank? If RBI has to ask Axis Bank or ICICI, if you want to promote, I mean, if you want to bring in moratorium, get me the data. So what information should these banks give to RBI? What sort of areas should they give up? I hope I'm right, sir. Ramon sir, like a bank should be giving the information related to the customer's details, loan accounts, what sort of loans they have taken, how many dues are there, what sort of challenges they're getting from the customers. So if we give what are the upcoming challenges they might face, or what benefit will the customer get, a lot of things I believe, if I'm not really wrong. Public and private needs to be understood. Sir, am I right in terms of banking? Like, are these the key areas in terms of moratorium if the bank asks for information?
You are right, sir. But what I more importantly feel that the data is in terms of primary elements,
Right, sir.
and every aspect at the elemental level should be available. Number one.
Okay.
While structuring, upgrading stitching the elements, this public and private should be kept in mind.
Right.
All the private data should be accessed, should be allowed to be accessed by the customer himself.
Right.
All
Sir.
the shareable and public data by any thing, bank, reserve bank, high level.
Yes.
So we are lacking in two aspects. At the element level itself, certain elements of data we are missing. That is my understanding.
True, sir.
At the second level, which is only left to the experts, the analytical experts, the level of the structuring of these elements to various needs to suit the requirements. There also, I think there are certain shortcomings with respect to the expertise in structuring these elements. These two parts. These two things.
Okay. Great, sir. Thanks for that. So when it comes to analytics, as Sar said, they're absolutely right, because the structurizing of this information and sharing that on a public platform, even customers needs to know what exactly is happening, and they need to get some information. And at the same time, even the bank should also have the transparency of maintaining all these details. So when it comes to analytics, again, it also entails applying the data patterns towards effective decision making. Whatever Amon sir was discussing just now, at the end of the day, the point is to make a crucial decision out of it. So it's all with the customer's information. So transparency is needed in terms of customer, where they need to know what exactly is happening. At the same time, RBI needs transparency from the banking Like every bank needs to give the private information also to RBI, where they will get to understand like, okay, this is what the challenges are, this is what the information we have. So when all these information are sent from both the sides, banks and the customers, to RBI on a private and a public platform in a very, very clear cut manner, that's when a typical chance of making a crucial decision will be there. Now imagine the moment when RBI has announced moratorium, again they have extended. This means how quickly the data should have been given to RBI from each and every single bank, and what sort of information should be there with relevance to the customers, and what sort of information should have been analyzed by the RBI, and then what sort of decisions should have been taken. Karishma, raise the hand. Anything you have to say? Okay. In other words, analytics can be understood as the connection between data and effective decision making with an organization. It is a very simple, understandable definition. Data and decision making. Now, if a university needs to get accredited by NBA or NAC, the data what is given by university or the organization, and the decision that is made by, NAC or any accreditation board, is what that in majorly involves is analytics. Analysis used to be different, but now analytics is something what we are doing. Looking at this data, we can say whether they will get A or A plus or A plus plus, or what sort of accreditation can be given. And looking at this, they can predict what is their next future, even in ISO for auditing, ISO 9001 and all these things. So let us see next one. So this is a very general definition. Someone has something to say. Ramon sir, keep minimum balance in savings, say SB, says few thousands account, and rest in FD. Your risk is from fraudsters in minimize. Yes, sir, absolutely. Never ever try to, and that too at this point of time, there is a huge threat. There is a huge threat from world. I'm not sure how many of you have seen Frigo or something. There is a game which was downloaded very recently, even after giving hundreds of warnings. This game was downloaded by a couple of children, and for that playing that particular game, they said that they will be getting some amount after they win the game, and that too for that they need to pay little in advance. So they have connected their parents' bank accounts directly, since they don't have. And yesterday there was a case in Telangana where there was a huge amount that was taken out from this particular guy's account when the guy was actually playing the game. At the later part of time, the father identified that there is no money in the account. So stop downloading all those games which really interrupt, which really make someone to access your bank accounts, as rightly said by Ramohan sir. So data analytics is all about the science of analyzing raw data in order to make conclusions about information. Overall, I have a system, I have data. Now what sort of decisions can be made by that? What sort of information can be pulled? What sort of algorithms do I need to prepare? What sort of queries do I need to write? All these things to optimize my business, to optimize a market research. Now, for example, I have a data of my company. It's a marketing company where I'm selling some insurance. For example, if I have to increase my insurance sales, now a market research analyst needs to do a lot of analytics by writing the various algorithms and writing queries, and see after 6 months, this is our market status. For that, he needs to collect a lot of data. Analytics is all about predictions, using different algorithms, using different optimization techniques, using different statistical techniques and all these. It's all about how you convert your raw data into a decision making thing. Now, what are the key skills one needs to be a data analyst or a data analytic expert? Mathematical ability. I don't know how I started working in analytics today as an HR analyst. I'm very good in mathematics. I still see that 1 and 1 look together, 1 plus 1 equal to 11. So that's my mathematics. So I still feel like I don't know how I'm working as a data analyst today. Now, programming languages, SQL, Oracle, Python, you should definitely have a knowledge on one of these things if you're getting into a coding to be an analytic expert, or if you're into analysis. As I initially said, yes, we used to write code. I used to prepare a lot of code using FoxPro, Oracle, MS Access, macros, all these things. We wrote hundreds of lines of code to generate the data. In order to generate, get results from 10 lakhs of records, we used to write hundreds of codes. I still have the books of FoxPro, Foxbase, everything. Statistics, yes, sir, we'll discuss about it. The ability to analyze, model, and interpret data. It's all about how do you look at the data, what sort of analysis, what sort of interpretations, what sort of models are there, with what sort of techniques you can apply. What, as I initially said, one size does not fit all. Every size differs. So we need to identify what size fits for this particular data, or what tools can be used for this data. There will be certain set of advanced analysis where Excel may not be useful. You need to do it in SPSS. There will be certain set of very advanced analysis where you'd have tools, you don't have any tools available readily in both of these. Then you go for Python or R. You start writing your own. There are certain assessments, I mean, interpretations to be done in terms of signal communication, where you write the complete coding using MATLAB. I mean, it's all about what platforms you are choosing, but the work is going to be the same in predicting the details or predicting the future about with that particular data, what you have got in hand. Problem solving skills, yes, it's very, very, very important. Christina madam says, is it necessary that a person should have a programming background to learn the analytical tools? Not every time, madam, but they should have a problem solving skill. But I'll show you the tools where you don't need to write a code. There are certain tools where you can use it as a drag and drop. But if you want to go for advanced analytics, yes, absolutely, you need a coding, because advanced analytical tools cannot be done using just SPSS or Excel. You need to write code. You need to give the best. For example, let me tell you, one of my friend, she's doing a presentation, I mean, for her PhD. Microsoft PowerPoint is not going to help in everywhere. We cannot write coding in that. But whatever the way she has planned, she started using Beamer, where Beamer is a complete coding for PowerPoint. It's not a PowerPoint, it's a similar tool where you put all the text and formulas using a coding, and that gets stored on a slide. So when you're going for advanced analytics, absolutely you need to get into R, Python, you need to use SQL, all these things. Coding cannot be skipped if you are getting into analytics. Next, a methodological, a methodological and logical approach, the ability to plan, to work and meet deadlines, accuracy, all these things. Statistics is going to come. I'll tell you where exactly we speak about statistics. R programming. Now I have my own team of experts where we work on R, SPSS, Excel, Python, and then even SQL, Oracle, PeopleSoft, all these areas. Tableau, I have one of my friend who sits in Netherlands. He keeps training people on this. SAS, it's always there. And then Apache Spark, Excel, RapidMiner, KNIME, ClickView, SPSS. There are a lot many software. Every software is different. Whatever you do in Excel, you cannot do the same in SPSS. Whatever you do in SPSS, you cannot do the same in Excel. Whatever you do in both, that cannot be done in something. You go with Tableau, you go with SAS, you go with R. Everything is a coding one. You need to certainly do a coding in this. You need to know how to write a coding in all this. Big data. Now, when we look at big data, what exactly, can someone tell me what is big data? Can we get to know what is big data? Anyone can answer. Whatever the answer you have about big data. Okay, I'll share it on the screen. At least look at that and let me know what you understand by this word called big data. Now it's clear on the screen. Okay, let me tell you this. Big data differs in a very, very, very different way, where there is a very traditionally defined approach that is only applicable for dealing with this kind of big data. Like, for example, with the banking sector, with the health sector, with any of the government operations, financial sector, I should say rather. How is that they're going to deal with big data? If somebody is working with a BPO, every day there will be thousands of calls. How is the data being organized and understood and predicted? So big data is a field that treats ways to analyze systematically, extract information from, or otherwise deal with data sets that are too large, too complex to be dealt with by traditional data processing application software. When I speak about a radar system, when I speak about a rocket launching system, when I speak about any, Ramon sir says a sort of disintegration and rearrangement as required. Yes, sir, exactly. And Balraj Gar says big data means in size of elemental data instead of large data. Big data is very big, but again, as sir said, it will be segregated into small elements or packets where that will be handled in a very, very, very systematic pattern where they can get to know the results, what they are exactly looking for. Large volume of data. Now the challenge is, how is this large volume of data or big data understood? How big does it look like? Zettabytes. It's not terabytes, megabytes, or kilobytes. Zettabytes of data. We guys spend 24 hours on WhatsApp, for example. How much data should have got processed on the back end, and how much data is getting stored on WhatsApp server, especially from one person? Now imagine entire India, say out of the entire population, 80 crores are daily using WhatsApp, out of which 60 crore public use it for more than 12 hours. Imagine 60 crore public using 12 hours of WhatsApp in a day, and it is daily getting stored on WhatsApp server. So what sort of data management should WhatsApp company or Facebook have? So what sort of traditional approaches, what algorithms, what systematic setup they have? How is that they are storing the data? How are they identifying information? So all these things comes under this big data, used in the industry to provide customer insights for transparent and similar products by analyzing, predicting customer behavior through data derived from social media, GPS, and CCTV footages. Now, for example, if a person comes to a bank and says, sir, I would like to get my bank statement of the last 6 years. I'm not sure to what extent it is possible to give a bank statement of 6 years at one shot. But if the bank person says, yes, sir, I'll do it, or you can download it from your side very, very slowly. Now he will tell how to do this. Karishma says structured or unstructured way data. Exactly. We have two things, structured data and unstructured data in this. Now, if a bank statement for the last 6 years of every month, every day to be generated, what sort of systematic procedure has been designed in the server, and how the data is being pulled in, and how it is being submitted to the customer who is looking for it? So there are a lot of factors. If I get into big data at this point of time, it's a very, very big, vast discussion. Now, the big data also allows for better customer retention. Now, customer retention is very important in terms of banking, financial, business, anywhere. Now, using this big data, you are looking at the past 1 year sales or 6 month sales, predicting the next 1 year sales with whatever the information is you have. That's important. That's one of the reason why we keep getting calls from various banks or organizations saying like, you need a credit card, you need a loan. Looking at our past history of loans and credit cards, or looking at our information and profile and thinking like, okay, I can call this. So there are a lot of calls that you get in a day. How do you get it? How do they get your data? Where are they getting your data from? And how are they analyzing your data? And why are they calling you? Lot of discussions will happen. This itself has a 2-hour session on this. Probably I'm going to help those people who are already registered for this training program from this Monday, right? So when we look at the tools that are being used, I'm differentiating the tools. It is not the same tool what you use for analysis. Hadoop is one, Cloudera is one, Cassandra is a most popular tool, NIME is again the one, MongoDB is like, if you are good at MongoDB, even today there are ample job opportunities overseas. Like you just listed out in Australia, you listed out in Germany, Netherlands. There is a huge requirement for this. So there are policies regarding the data record retention periods ranging from 1 day to permanent based type of record. Yes, sir. Again, I will have a discussion with Ramon sir at the end on this. So again, we are going to ask some questions. So now, big data versus data analytics. Many people ask me, what is the difference? Why exactly we need to know about both the things? So as we just saw, big data, employs complex technology tools in parallel computing and other automation. So where you don't have a manual intervention every time when you're dealing with big data, but data analytics, there is a manual intervention, and the predictions are done using various statistical modeling techniques. And you cannot use the same for very advanced data analytics like big data when you're handling. So big data is something where you just define it in such a way using advanced human machine learning algorithms, advanced tools like CongoDB and all these things, MongoDB. Now, when you look at that big data, the kind of tools what you use are not the same what we use in analytics. Analytics where you do a simple prediction with a basic modeling techniques of statistics. If I have to know the patient's prediction for the next 6 months, how the patient's disease is going to be, what are the variations that might come in terms of a patient who is affected with cancer or anything, I can do a prediction. It is very easy. But when it comes to a large business prediction, that needs to be done only with the big data methods. Now, difference between data science and big data. Now, data science is another emerging field. It has already emerged. So big data relates to most of the time with Hadoop, Java, Hive, etc., distributing the computing and analytical tools and software. Whereas when you look at the data science, which focuses on strategies for business decisions, data dissemination using mathematics, statistics, and data structures. Again, what exactly is in data science? Big data is very clear that we learn all those things. What exactly is inside the data science? Data science, where you develop a lot of coding algorithms, you structurize the information, you use a lot of mathematical modeling techniques, you use a lot of statistical modeling techniques. All this can be then injected into a tool, and that tool can be used for big data. This is something which, I mean, I'm going to conduct a separate session on data science very soon, where I'll be demonstrating some tools also. Analytics currently today, where are they majorly used? HR, finance, marketing. I mean, recently when I have done a session for MBA people on specializations in HR, marketing, and finance, apart from this, what all we have, people were really shocked to know that there are more than 21 other specializations in related to these HR, finance, and marketing, where there is a huge job market. And I don't know why many colleges are not focusing on it. Logistics is a huge industry where you can get into that. An MBA guy can get into a logistic industry. They can get into a supply chain management industry. An MBA guy with a finance background can, apart from payroll, they can get into a an industry where they completely deal with Six Sigma concepts. There's a vast one, marketing, and then business analytics, pharma companies, quality sector. As I just said, manufacturing industries also have a quality wing. And when you look at manufacturing industries like automobile or anything, IT sector, everybody are into analytics today. Because if there is no analytics, they can't predict. Now trust me, doing all these analytics and having captured all the data, that's when many companies have wind up today in Hyderabad. 3 days back when I was in High Tech City, there was a huge campus near Raja IT Park, one of the famous IT company, in which again 4 floors were occupied by 2 other companies with almost 10,000 employees. Today, I don't see those companies existing there anymore. A lot of companies have moved out of the buildings because the analytics shows that, okay, as on today, the market is this, but tomorrow it might be this. So the predictions say that you need not be here, you can move somewhere. So they're trying to go on a cost cutting. How is that possible? I'm helping companies to reduce cost cutting in terms of recruitment procedures. I use Hire Me Google tool. I use Excel, and I'm able to help the companies to cut the cost cutting in recruitment process. I'm also advising companies in terms of marketing research, where they can reduce the cost on, improving their sales. Okay, improving the sales and generating the revenue. In how much they should actually invest on it, how much they were investing, and how much they can invest as per the market situation today, and how can they improve the market standards. Now, apart from those, where else you are using all these analytics? Policing. Yes, today you have very advanced CC cameras installed across Hyderabad city, where a vehicle can be predicted. It was already done. If you are allowed to travel only within 5 kilometers or 3 kilometers, if you go beyond that, these cameras will capture the information and they'll give you the analysis. Like, this guy has traveled so far and he should have been here and he must be going to this particular location. These advanced cameras are already installed in the city. So police are using, transportation department, managing risks. So risk assessment, risk mitigation departments, they do the analytics, logistics, as I said, and then web provision. Those who are into web analytics, they do a lot of things. Using the web analytics, they can predict what is my market going to be. Now, when we go on YouTube, when you upload your video, try to look at your analytics about the viewers, and that will help you to understand, okay, looking at this graph, I can predict how many viewers are going to come for my next 1 week, 10 days. City planning, when it is a smart city, that's where analytics are used. Healthcare sector is always there, but at times it is going bad. 48% are in customer analytics, 45% experience analytics, 37% risk analysis, 28% of regulatory compliance analysis, threat analysis as 30%. When you look at all these top big data use cases, we can get to know what sort of percentage of analytics are being done. Why is customer analytics so high? 48% means if you don't analyze the customer, whether it is for a college, it is for a market, it is for a business, it is for a bank, then that business will go into a trash. So it's always very high to know what exactly your customer is like, what is their behavior, What could be what could they be after 3 months? Imagine if a company, if an employee is leaving an organization, the organization cannot be happy. The organization need to do a lot of analysis why an employee is leaving. In case if they have applied for resignation, now there is a lot of prediction to be done. If this resignation has been approved, how will it impact other people, and how many else might leave the company, and how will it impact my business, and where would I end up? So that's always very important to understand your customer. So that can be internal customer is your employee, external customer is from outside. So we need to analyze both internal and external at a shot. We have different analytics in terms of HR, people analytics, and workforce analytics, where primarily when I speak about HR, I don't want to go in depth about this, but when I speak about HR, they convert primarily about, they cover about the metrics of HR functions, whether it is a bank or a company or anything. The HR should always know how exactly to hire a person, what is the recruitment process involved, and how can they reduce the cost and mitigate the time on this. People analytics can be applied to all people of an organization, and again it speaks about internal and external customers, right? And workforce is something where all encompassing term pertaining to employees, on-site, remote, gig workers. These are all with respect to the recruitment process, and also in terms of your internal and external customers. What sort of opportunities we have in as if you are becoming a data analyst, data analytic expert? You can get into HR, marketing, finance. You can be a statistical analyst as a freelancer. You can be an IT system analyst. System analyst, an IT system analyst is someone who on a daily basis tries to identify what sort of systems are in the place, and what sort of challenges are coming, and what sort of networking issues are coming in, and what can be avoided in case if the same thing continues, and what are the applications to be installed. A lot of work is there. Healthcare data analyst, it's a very, very big opportunity today. If you look at huge hospitals like KIMS, Apollo, and Fortis, Nanavati, they have their own internal enterprise system where they do a lot of analysis with their own doctors. But at the same time, we get data from lot many hospitals every day, and we keep analyzing their data. And at times there are situations where we need to manipulate the data and predict the results also. The other one is operation analyst, data scientist, data engineer, quantitative analyst, data analytics consultant, data marketing manager. Now, best example for another prediction in analytics is weather forecasting. Now, today we see that there is a huge rain outside. There's a lot of weather disturbance. Now, the teams who sit at radar base, or who sit at the weather forecasting office, they'll be able to analyze what could be the next 1 week or 3 days weather report. And how is that they are able to do? Looking at the past data, looking at the current information, they'll be able to compare it with the future prediction, and that's when they'll finalize that it might rain even for the next 2-3 days. In order to get opportunities in all this area, what you see on the screen, there are 2 ways. Number one, you need to do a preliminary certificate course where you will gain the basic knowledge of any of these areas what you are trying to get into. And number two, you need to get a certification done where a company will recognize you. For example, if you want to be a statistical analyst, if you can do a SAS certification, I'm definitely sure if you have a logo of SAS on the top of the profile, your value is totally different from a normal profile. So I always suggest people, advise people rather to go for a certification rather than just trying to do this. Now I'll tell you one more example, a live example here. When you look at Ram Mohan sir, every time he keeps saying, of course, I stopped saying because I'm done many times, but he even reminded me long back also. Whoever sits in a webinar, even he does it. You put a notepad and a pen in front of you and keep noting the information. Why? It is the information what I'm currently giving that helps you to understand where were you till the last 1 hour or till yesterday in terms of that skill set. And this information will help you to predict your future. Like, okay, if I learn this, I can get into this. So carrying a notepad and a pen is again an analytic job where you are comparing your past with the present discussion and see what exactly your future is going to be. So that's one of the best examples I keep telling in many sessions about Ram Mohan sir and what he told us. Thanks for that, sir. And the second thing is, now this is our team. This is our core team, what we have. Whatever the names you see on the screen. We have Dr. KVS Sharma, who is an author and a Lifetime Achievement Awardee and a senior statistical data analyst. Dr. Vishnu, and Mrs. Sharada, and unfortunately it's me at the end again, Karthik, and we have Sangeeta, who is the HR. And we people, our job is to conduct daily data analysis works, and Sangeeta takes care of recruitment process. She helps the companies also to understand what is the recruitment process that happen, how to reduce the cost and recruitment and all these things. So she works with me in my team, and I'm taking care of cyber analysis also. I look at the cybercrime data, and then I'll predict what sort of crimes might happen in the future, looking at the current and the past data. And other three people on the top, they're completely on a high level expertise, which I'm nowhere nearby. I know that, but we are very glad to have them. And finally, when we look at the payouts or salaries, at this point of time, the companies are paying only 20,000 for a data analyst or data analytic expert, depending on the source. But there are companies which usually starts at 45 to 75,000 for a fresher. So don't get disappointed. Companies are going to come back, and we are going to have good salaries coming in. And the main thing we need to do is how exactly we need to get into this particular industry. Why is that? How is that my future is going to be, and why is that I should learn? When you ask this question, if whether it is an artificial intelligence, data analytics, data analytics, or cyber security, we can say that the next 10 years is going to be a great future for this. Not 10 years, it's going to be the next 15 years is never ever going to get disturbed. And that's certainly going to happen. So my dear friends, whatever I was trying to say today here is there's a lot of requirement in the industry today where people are really looking out for those experts who can say that data analytics is a real-time industry need for many companies. Only problem is that we are not able to find the people who can really do this, right? They need training, they need to undergo certification, they need to exactly understand what exactly they are to be into. Even if you are from an engineering background, whether you're from a pharma background, whether you're from a science background or anything, analytics are going to be the future, and it's going to make a very big difference in terms of market analysis or your future also. Try to get to know more details about it. I can help you if you're interested. I'm actually training batches on this now. So I have a feedback link here. Whatever you felt about this particular session, kindly fill in the feedback. So those who submit the feedback here, all of them will be getting their certificates by tomorrow or max by end of the day. Those who fill the feedback form, I'm repeating it again. So this Google form will help you to give a feedback, and those feedback, those people will get their certificates. Yeah, it's time for discussions. They can unmute and they can speak up. Anything to discuss, anything we have to say? Or if anyone is there who can help anyone to learn, yes, we are ready to work with them also.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Giridhar, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I just want to know what are the problems in big data analytics, the side effects of big data analytics, dangers of big data analysis.
What exactly mean? I don't get that side effects or dangers.
Cyber security side, na? That's why I'm asking big data analytics side. What are the problems we are facing for big data? How to overcome the problems?
So problems, see, when I say, I don't say particularly about big data or something. It should be understood as what are the risks and side effects in terms of data management, or
Yes.
that's what you mean, right? See, there are a lot
email,
of,
for example, Gmail and all these things. Data, accessing a lot of data, we're not able to control the data. Those things. Yes.
accessing the data and not controlling the data.
The excess of data, sir. Excess of data we have in those things.
Yes, right. How do you handle that excess of data?
Yes.
So excess of data is just being simply handled. As I said, there are a lot of tools that we really have where we store the details, and there is a process of where we can write certain algorithms which actually controls what set of data to be processed and what should be left out and what should be coming up, right? So the security is always there, sir. It's not like uh, how it should be handled. Side effects, yes, it is there. Risks are always there, as long as to say, if the data is not properly maintained or the security precautions are not taken. But apart from that, every data is secured undoubtedly. It's all about the people who are managing the data needs to be more careful in terms of providing the security. But while implementing this, there are no threats or there are no such risks. That's very clear, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I hope data scientist and data science topic also. I hope in future we'll talk about those things.
Yeah, that's a separate session I'm going to do, sir. That has a lot of
Thank you for
detail.
your
Yes, yes, sir.
wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Shanmukhi Reddy, you raised the hand. Anything you want to say, please? And one more thing, my dear friends, we are actually looking out to work with a couple of experts. That's one of the reason, because we are getting a lot of requirements for analytics training, and we are planning to have team of people more who can be expertised in their own areas of analytics. Yeah, please. What are the? Please speak up.
What are the best courses we need to join, sir, to know about more about analytics, learn?
Madam, if you want to get into analytics, initially you should know the basics of understanding the data and application of those data and exactly what are the tools you need to learn. If you are very good at Excel, SPSS, and R at a first stage one, it will be very much possible for you to get into any industry as a data analytics person, because the first thing they will look at you is how exactly you can handle the data, visualize and analyze and do the predictions and forecasting with these tools. And if you're really interested, then you can go for a certification at the next level, which will help you to get certified using SAS, or you can choose the area, whatever we have just discussed. Probably what you can do is you can drop in an email to me, or you can take the number, and I can do is I can help you the courses that are available, and I can also guide you how exactly you can get certified in it. I can share that across the email. Once you send the feedback, I'll take your email and I'll send it now.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Christina Mary Madam says, is it that each area, for example, marketing, HR, have specific tools for analysis, or each area are having specific tools like for marketing analytical tools, one should master? What are the marketing analytics tools one should learn? Exactly, ma'am. We have different tools for different things. Like, for example, as I said, for HR tools, we have certain software like Google Hire Me by Google. Okay, like the common tools are again SPSS, Excel, or these are the common tools which anyone can use, and they will get to know how it should be done. But when it comes to individual analytics, yes, Google Analytics is a common platform which you can use. And there are two things which I have primarily used earlier. The one is Mixpanel, where it tracks the events across the mobile apps and websites regarding your market research survey and all the things. And the other tool I was using was normally the Google Analytics. These are the two tools which will really help you in terms of marketing research or marketing analysis, where you will get to know your consumers' behavior, your consumers' retention. You will get to know the market strategies. Like market behavior also. And that's when you will be able to do a prediction like how exactly you should improve. Probably I'll share some more details on this, ma'am, where it will be clear for you to get to know. I'll definitely share it. But my dear friends, this is going to be a big future for all of you. Big data analytics is going to be a big future, because going ahead, looking at the market today, there are a lot of predictions. There are a lot of analytical things that are supposed to be done, especially in the industries of marketing, pharma, and education sector. This is going to be a very, very big aspect. So try to get to know more details and try to learn this. And that's going to make a very big thing for all of you. So at present, I'm very glad to say, thank you, Karthik. The session was really informative. Thank you, ma'am. So happy to see you here. So the thing is, we have completed a batch of totally 115 till now who did the internship on data analytics using SPSS, R, and Excel, where they got trained and then they did the internship. Where we have initially, in fact, we are very clear on it. We have charged for the training and they have paid for it, and they have done it. They have undergone the training and they have completed the internship now. So it's almost 115 students, and we have upcoming batch of another 18. And ongoing, there are 6 on a daily basis in the evening. And happy to see that a couple of faculty are also in this. So we usually it is going to be a very high cost one, but I'm doing a nominal charge of 2,000 rupees for a 10-day training on data analytics, where they will have hands-on experience with Excel sheets, where they can learn the things with a real-time example. Yeah, any other, someone has a chat message, Sir Raju, sir, we'll send the recorded video link. Everyone, whoever are sharing the feedback link here, they will be able to see the recorded video, and also they will get a certificate of participation also. Because usually what happens is people register and they don't turn up. Now I have about 120 plus people who have registered yesterday. And finally, we could see only 45, 50 who have turned up with or without registration. So today, whoever are here, they are going to get the certificate of participation. So for that, you need to do is just drop in a feedback, and I'll be able to share the certificates to each and everyone. So that's all from my side, and thank you so much for being so patient. And any discussions, anything you would like to learn or know about this, I'm definitely available. You can reach me out, and I'm going to help those people who are seriously interested to make a career out of this, and that will be a big future for all of you. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone. I'll provide the material at the discussion also. Sir Ramon, sir, yes sir, please sir.
Sir, I will call you KK if you do not mind.
Yes, yes, please, please sir.
మీ పేర్లు మూడు కేకేకేనే ఉన్నాయి.
Sir.
But I say KK. I would like to share a particular thought of mine, particularly with you and the rest of the
Yes,
audience
sir.
also here.
Yes, sir.
When a person is born at the time of birth, or
Sir.
even before he is born on the land,
Okay.
when the mother conceives a baby in the womb, there
Sir.
should be a digital record should be formed at the government level.
Right, sir.
And that should go on till the death of that particular person.
True.
That will be one master file, and all the data, both private and public, will be entered into that digital file. Private data being accessed through approved passwords, public data will be shared with anybody. In your talk, you are referring about this analytics being used for workforce, HR, and other things. But all those things will stem out of this, come out of this general pool only. I think
Right,
is it difficult to do that? We are not thinking either at the government level or the IT industry level. We are not thinking of it. Even IT industry can take with the government to have this one. This is one thing. Second one, I wanted to specifically share with the younger generations here that for the analytics, based on your own interest and taste, one can select about 10 businesses at the industry level, not at the firm level. I am talking at the industry level, and find out what is the data, the depth of the data that is present there. Depth is present. That is, the data is not absent, because of which they are unable to capture the business at the highest level. So if you can identify that and make some solutions to fill up that depth, probably as a freelancer also, you can do that things. I think that will help you procuring a business for yourself and also help that business. So these are the two things I just wanted to share with you. Thank you.
Great, sir. Thank you so much. But the only challenge, as you questioned, there is always a scope for maintaining all these details, but the systems what we have got in place at present in our society, when you look at the kind of contribution or support or anything, even a lot of possibilities are becoming impossible. I mean, when we speak about all the centralization of data from the day 1 till day 100, in any case, what matters primarily is the collection of data that should be very seriously and confidentially done. Number one, storage of data, whatever the factors we spoke. The kind of people who are there in the system are not able to completely contribute in every case, and that's where we are failing. For example, if I take a banking system now, every bank will have my information, but why many banks are not able to identify whether I'm still still there in their system or not? I keep getting calls from HDFC saying like, sir, thanks for being with HDFC. I said like, I'm not even using my account. I closed the account almost 6 years back. And they call today and say, no, no, sir, we see your details in our system. What I found to know, what I got to know is many of the banks are not directly giving calls to the customers. It is being maintained by a third party, right? Just this third party is not able to centralize all the details and get it into one place. If that is happening, a lot of confusions will go away. Now, one more thing is, since each and every one data, I mean, every individual data here in the group, like your data, my data, and everyone's data is being sold out at a cost of 4,000 rupees outside by Airtel or any company. That's what I got to know. How is that some company is getting my information or your information? How will some unknown person get my data from with my mobile number? That means all these mobile service providers are selling our data. So that's a big data business for them. That's a big data business. They're properly doing it. Now the thing is, how is that we can come out of it? How is that we can make it is the question. So there are a lot of challenges. As you said, people can come up with feedback. I mean, individual freelancing activity, and that can be done. Those who are seriously interested to learn this and be a freelancer, trust me, you can make a market out of this. Looking at this position, you may not be able to get into a company for some time, but you be an individual consultant. That really makes a very, very, very big business thing. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm not going to any office, but I'm sitting at home and doing a lot of consulting activities. So this is something we can do. So thank you so much, Rammohan sir. That was a nice discussion and valuable inputs from you, right? So I again thank every participant here for being us today, and I'm very happy to see that already 42 participants have given the feedback, and they have responded on the feedback form. Thank you so much for everyone, and along with me and my team, Sangeeta and other rest of the team members, we are all here. So thank you so much for being here. And any discussions, anything, you can reach me out. I've dropped my mobile number on the chat. And of course, most of you have my mobile number. So thank you very much, my dear friends. And see you all soon with the data science session. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.